I don't want to see this Trump-style harassment of our elections administrator.
Oh, you know what? That's insulting.
County Judge Lina Hidalgo proves once again she's too politically paranoid to lead. She had waited 5 long months after the botched November election to even bother to convene a meeting of the Harris County Election Commission.
And I'd like to call this April 5th, 2023 meeting of the Harris County Elections Commission to order.
The meeting came in the midst of a criminal investigation into whether Republican votes were intentionally suppressed. Voters were turned away from 24 mostly Republican polling locations because there wasn't enough ballot paper there. The county had millions of sheets of paper. That's inexcusable proof of an unfair election. We've been investigating, but Hidalgo and County Attorney Christian Menefee have been fighting us every step of the way. So far, refusing to turn over records the Attorney General says are public records.
Okay, so let's start with item 2, request for an update on the November 22 post-election report.
But the Democrats on the election panel simply do not want to talk about what happened or provide accountability to voters, using current legal challenges to the election results as their excuse.
I move to suspend the discussion of item 2 on the agenda due to pending litigation.
The county attorney was a no-show. His rulings blocked the public right to know.
The fact is, there'd be no litigation if these elections were run properly, securely, and correctly.
Judge Hidalgo used the event to try to compare legal election challenges here in Harris County to the attacks on the Capitol.
At least 2 of us had election challenges filed on the 2nd anniversary of the insurrection and attacks against the Capitol.
You know, if you don't have anything to hide, you should be able to say it publicly. People deserve to know that.
The vote was 4-1. Every Democrat blocking even discussion of what happened last year, including Mike Doyle, the new chairman of the Harris County Democratic Party.
If the reverse was true, if that last election had ballot shortages in predominantly minority neighborhoods, Mr. Doyle, in the 5th Ward, in the 3rd Ward, in Montrose and the Heights, you would be screaming from the mountaintops for the Justice Department to come out and find out what happened.
After Mattress Mac joined me in a lawsuit against the county seeking just simple transparency, Judge Hidalgo called us undemocratic.
At its heart, it is anti-democratic.
Can't let that stand.
That's the disgusting attack. And everyone on this commission should have responded to say there is nothing more democratic than trying to make sure there is transparency in our elections.
In Austin, the Texas Senate has now moved to stop Harris County's legal blockade of election transparency.
Election offices should not be able to hold back election records due to ongoing election litigation. Many times election records hold information that the public needs.
This is the guy Hidalgo is trying so hard to protect from public scrutiny. Harris County Election Administrator Clifford Tatum.
This is the second Harris County Elections Administrator who has screwed up an election.
Then things get really silly. Because of audio issues, I moved to hold a microphone closer to Tatum when he finally showed up to speak after public comments were over, standing where journalists have been allowed to stand for decades. Watch Hidalgo slip a note to an aide. She brings it to the constable handling security, and then Hidalgo suggests I'm a potential threat to Tatum.
Why are you standing behind him?
Give me a break. But I gave the mic to the constable and walked to the back of the room. Then listened to Hidalgo as I walked away.
I don't want to see this Trump-style harassment of our elections administrator.
Oh, you know what? That's insulting.
Hidalgo even scolded the constable.
And if the deputies, please, since when do you allow someone to stand before a department head or a speaker? We never do that.
3 more constables were called to the meeting after that, with only a dozen people there. That's not security. That's paranoia. These folks were guarding the meeting too, and no one will tell us exactly who they work for. But they're part of the growing security Harris County Democratic officials think they need. County sources say Clifford Tatum has bodyguards now too. For months, Hidalgo was billing taxpayers for her new private security, each one billing you at $75 an hour, 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. The cost for Hidalgo's SUV and gas for security, $2,275 a week. There are conflicting records of what they've been paid, but it's several $100,000 for sure. The county judge used to have constables protect her for a lot cheaper, but after the constable's chief of staff ran against her in the Democratic primary, Hidalgo apparently decided she needed a private company instead.
I'm in favor. Motion carries 3-2. Thank you guys so much.
It was a no-bid contract for some reason for a company called XMI Protection. State records show it changed its name just weeks before the company was awarded the contract, and it was located at a P.O. box.
We have a lot of options other than a private company with a P.O. box.
XMI is now located in a house bought according to real estate records from a former Venezuelan businessman who claims he didn't know the person who bought the house.
Even though your business was registered at the same home as Cortez Richardson, you're saying you don't know who Cortez Richardson is?
No.
That temporary 3-month security deal lasted months longer, and the cost of Hidalgo's security skyrocketed. What started as $40,000 a month grew to nearly $75,000 a month. So when Hidalgo is jogging, you'll see security following right behind her. Last year, her Democratic ally suggested she needed security.
I know you have had real threats, and I don't even know why we're talking about this in open court. There's just some things that should be above debate, and this is one of them.
Look, anyone who physically threatens a public figure, or anyone else for that matter, is an idiot. I've gotten death threats for decades, and look, Judge Hidalgo, I'm still here. But wasting public funds unnecessarily is stupid too. XMI is owned by a guy named Cortez Richardson. He does have law enforcement experience, but he's not saying much to us.
I'm not in the business of providing information. I'm a security and investigations. That's what I provide. I'm not in the means of providing interviews and information to companies. Okay?
A company receiving a no-bid contract for things like security should raise red flags, especially with a county judge already under investigation after a COVID contract was steered to just one company. 3 of her folks were indicted for that smelly deal.
This isn't about her security. This is about why couldn't we use constables? Why couldn't we use Harris County Sheriff's deputies?
Since April of last year, Harris County commissioners had authorized spending more than $600,000 just to protect Lina Hidalgo. Fire marshals protect her now, but no one will tell us how much that's costing.
Excuse me. Only the person at the microphone is speaking. Please take a seat.
Well, just cut the Trump crap. The county judge and the county attorney are now doubling down on what can only be described now as a blatant cover-up of records we should all have a right to see. That's unacceptable. We're going to fight this.
This battle was important to start with because election records are of penultimate importance when we talk about government transparency.
Harris County has even filed a lawsuit to block more than a dozen public records requests, including ours, spending your money to hide your election records.
The fact that the county has now clearly indicated that they are going to fight tooth and nail to keep these records secret has made this fight even more important.
We will join the legal fight in Austin and also are suing here in Harris County because this is unacceptable. People are legitimately angry. Maybe we wouldn't have to be spending all this money on security if the county judge believed in transparency, not paranoia. What in the world are they hiding?